Unbelievable, unfettered, unfiltered, unexpected, unpredictable, unbelievable. These are the words people are using to describe not only the New England Patriots 2024 NFL draft to date, but also being a part of a live and uncensored edition of the Six Rings and Football Things podcast here, coming to you on a very late Friday night with Andy Hart and Nick Stevens, aka at Jumbo Hart and at Fitzy GFY. Great to have you guys here with us tonight. Andy, I am still processing and dealing with my feelings regarding the New England Patriots not only missing out on Ladd McConkey, but literally trading a spot to another team so that my guy, a draft crush that I had, which I've told myself don't have. Fitzy, just don't have draft crushes. Don't fall in love with these guys. You know your team's not going to get them. And yet still, I fell in love with a player. He was available there. The New England Patriots had 34 staring them right in the face. We thought when the Buffalo Bills were there at 33, they would either take Adam Mitchell, or they would take Ladd McConkey. They don't. They take Keon Coleman, which we found out later on that apparently the New England Patriots were also in love with Coleman. And they let McConkey go, and he goes to the Chargers. Dear Jim Harbaugh, please take care of my guy. It was a very frustrating and difficult start to the second round and the day two of the New England Patriots draft. For me, I know you said earlier on Twitter, it's not all about you, Fitzy, but what do you think went into the decision to let a guy like McConkey, who was so highly regarded, Coleman, go, Mitchell, who went 52 to the Colts, and go all the way to 37 for Jalen Polk from the Washington Huskies, who seems like a good guy, again, in the culture of being good guys, but is he really a top of the second round guy?
So I love these picks, first of all, these trades and picks and positions, because it's like, oh, we're going to follow this. We're going to be able to measure this over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, keeping track of what Polk does in New England and what your guy Ladd McConkey does with the Chargers. I actually like the pick for the Chargers for Herbert. I think he's the kind of guy that Herbert could use. I think there was maybe some replication. If you're looking at what the Patriots have and want to do, I think Polk can be a more valuable guy, a guy down the field a little bit. He has some position flexibility, played inside and out at Washington, but has some jump ball ability, averaged 17 yards a catch each of his last 2 years there. Obviously put up big numbers last year with over 1,000 yards and I think 70 catches.
Yeah.
So I wasn't a big Ladd McConkey guy because I thought, well, do you like Demario Douglas or do you not? Because I think there was some replication there in the type of receiver they are, quicker rather than fast, guys that are going to win on the inside and some of that.
Yeah.
But the Polk thing, there's been this weird your people and you people.
Okay. We're only 3 minutes in. Thank you very much.
For some reason, he's immediately N'Keal Harry. There's like this PTSD from N'Keal Harry, like.
But I mean, let me ask you this: is that because of N'Keal Harry? Is that because of the Patriots' difficulties in drafting receivers this century, if you will, because they haven't had any luck to the Dobsons, the Chad Jacksons, the N'Keal Harrys? What do you think that's in regard to?
Oh, yeah, I think there's always going to be, until they nail the hell out of a wide receiver pick, it doesn't matter that there's been a regime change, there's new wide receiver coaches, new offensive coordinator, like there's going to be this trepidation about receivers. There just is until they nail one. And for some reason, people think he can't be any good. I will tell you, they love him. They thought he was sort of like this perfect prospect. They love him off the field. They love the work ethic. They love the character, which isn't necessarily the case of all the wide receivers in this draft. You certainly saw that my guy, A.D. Mitchell, fell. And it sounds like there were some red flag concerns about his character and who he is. I did pay my light bill. You want the light off? Want the light off, you bitches? Okay, lights off, bitches. What are we doing? Darker? You like darker is better? I don't have one of those fancy Phil Perry rings of light LED things to shine in front of me. I'm working.
Guys, listen, I just want to let everybody know, by the way, your old pals Fitzy and Hart here. We're on the radio tomorrow from noon to 3. Oh, Andy Hart went spooky. I love it. If you're watching right now on YouTube or Twitter or Twitch or wherever we happen to be doing this live on the socials, Andy Hart went into what's known as spooky or ghost mode. So it looks like he's drinking a soda pop, like a Boylan's or a fancy soda. Hashtag it's Miller Lite. Um, I think they were clapping at me for not being well lit enough in my little Cape Cod getaway cottage. I apologize, everybody, but we're doing this for you. We can gladly not do this podcast, but we're doing this for you guys because A, we love you guys, and B, we can't talk enough Patriots, and we want to react live to what's gone on in the second round and the third round.
I don't want to react because I felt better reacting to the first round. I was really happy with Drake May. I get happier by the minute. I love Drake May's introductory press conference at Gillette Stadium.
Same. I would almost, Andy, rather focus on all Drake May than get frustrated over Caden Wallace and Jalen Polk, as when I wanted freaking Braden Fisk and Lad McConkey and a bunch of the other guys that I wrote on WEI.com today would be perfect fits for the Patriots. But all right, let's go back real quick. Let's try to run through, as opposed to an impassioned perspective where someone gets frustrated, Foxborough style. Just give me a why you think Jalen Polk and Caden Wallace will work from an on-field perspective before we get into these aren't the guys or the droids I was looking for kind of thing, which is obviously factors into my inebriated wheelhouse.
So Polk, I think, can work because I think he's a good, not great receiver. I don't necessarily believe you got your number one, but I would also say I'm pretty sure nobody thought Puka Nacua was going to be a number one receiver, or Amon St. Brown, or any of these guys when they came as second, third, fourth, and fifth round picks. And then, son of a bitch, the guy's got how many catches and how many yards, and like he's the key to an offense. So I don't rule out Jalen Polk being the Patriots' number one receiver. I would also argue, they really are lacking. They have 2s and 3s. So I'm not sure if I'm saying a lot there. I think he's a good player who came from a good offense with a good quarterback that made plays down the field. He's a good blocker. He sounds like he's a good all-around player. And I think to some degree that's what Puka Nacua was, right? Like a good all-around receiver. He can block. We're going to get some run after the catch. We're going to get this. And I keep going back to that. I'm not expecting him to catch 150 balls for 1,500 yards or whatever the hell Puka Nacua
has almost become the glitch in the algorithm that a lot of programmers will wonder, what did we miss when we were writing the code?
Sure, absolutely.
And that's why that's why I blogged about him. We've talked about him.
Is 4.5 slow? That's the other thing. He runs a 4.5.
Yeah, so what?
When did that become like get rid of him kind of slow? You know who else was slow? Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers just gets open and catches footballs, and he's teaching Devontae Adams things, the best receiver of his, 5-year stretch in the NFL. So I don't care. Can he get open and catch the football? Can he catch the ball in contested catch situations? Again, we have this phobia because N'Keal Harry, a big receiver who's contested catch. Yeah, he sucked. I don't think Jalen Polk's going to suck. Maybe I'll see him in training camp, and just like I did with N'Keal Harry, day one, be like, we may have made a terrible mistake here.
Everybody. Yeah, I mean, because we thought, well, a lot of guys were going to pop last offseason. And then I remember sitting next to you and Andrew Callahan and, Mike Cadlick and Mike Giardi and just thinking like, wow, none of these guys wear sunblock. This is weird. Oh, also, we're all staring at the field and this offense sucks. Andy, we're already getting some questions here as we do this live on the WEI and at FitzyGFY socials. Thank you guys for once again tuning into a late night edition of the Six Rings and Football Things podcast, live and unfiltered. So if we happen to say a couple of things that are a bit off kilter or off color, you will forgive us. We do not apologize for anything. We are Patriots fans.
Nope.
All right, here we go. So Scott DeFelice is watching on Facebook Live. He wants to know, guys, is it more likely that Caden Wallace, the Patriots' third-round pick, the right tackle, who Elliot Wolf believes can go left tackle or right tackle, is it more likely Wallace goes to left tackle or stays at right tackle and Onwenu stays left?
Well, no one's staying at left tackle because they don't have a left tackle. I know we talked to Brian Baldwin.
By the way, can I ask colleague to colleague, football fan, is it bothering you again the same way that I initiated the whole bum fight dialogue last year, that once again, there does not seem to be a direct addressing of the left tackle issue for the Patriots?
Does it bother you if I play with my light?
Nope.
Yeah, the left tackle feels a little bit like first base for the Red Sox a couple years ago, shortstop for the Red Sox this year. It feels like it could be a hellacious fatal flaw to this team. And I'm sorry, Elliot Wolf. I love your I guess positive attitude or like optimism that Okorafor, he can play left tackle, and Wallace, he can play left. Everybody can play left. No, there's a reason it's a premium position. There is a reason those guys make $100 million. There's
Right.
a reason that guys get embarrassed at that position, and it derails offenses and teams at times. So I don't have the optimism like Brian Baldinger, when we talked to him pre-draft, brought up Connor McDermott as being in the mix over there.
I think he forgot who they had. I
Yeah,
think he had reminded him that Okorafor, the guy that was with Pittsburgh who got benched.
But it doesn't matter. They don't have a left tackle. They don't have a left
Thank
tackle.
you.
And if I were going to force somebody, I would force Mike Onwenu to go over there because he's the guy that has already proven to me he can play guard and he can
Right.
play right tackle. So I know he can flat out play on an NFL offensive line. I would have a little bit more bitching about the lights again. I'm going to fight somebody. Why do you give a rat's ass?
Listen, while you get your lighting situation together, let me quickly share this video. This is Mina Kimes a little while ago.
Goddamn light off. Now you got no lights. I'm just going to be a black screen, you bitches.
Wow. Andy Hart is in blackout mode right now.
What if I do this?
This is like 2003 Times
like
Square.
this.
He went into Halloween ghost mode.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
If you're watching live on social or YouTube, he's being very scary. While Andy gets his lighting situation.
No, I'm not changing anything for these people.
Leave it.
They'll take it as they get it.
Listen, again, this is a bonus podcast. This is a little extra something to start people's Saturdays. I listened to a couple podcasts today when I was out for a jog by the beach on the Cape. Guess what? Straight football talk when you're going for a 30-minute run. Man, listening to Fitzy and Hart argue about football, beer drinking, and also like lighting situations, way more compelling. That said, I want to share this little clip I picked off the Twitterverse earlier. This is our friend, not yet friend of podcast, but we'll get her soon enough, Mina Kimes, talking about Jalen Polk and how she thought he would be the steal wide receiver-wise of the second round.
And Polk will not be there in the third round. There's no chance.
Oh, nope, that's on that.
I think Polk is going to go earlier than people expect because he is a quarterback's best friend. I know it's a cliche, but he really, I mean, it's the player he gets comped to a lot is a guy you guys know very well, and Jacoby Myers, for good reason. I mean, he catches literally everything thrown at him. Good frame, good route running ability, super smart, can win the line of scrimmage. I love him.
Okay, so she loves him. Now you'll hear Jacoby Myers. I instantly hear millions of Pats fans triggered. Why can't we get guys like that? Bob Love voice. Bob Lavelle voice.
Are you drunk?
But no, I'm just trying to do a lot at once. But more importantly, like a guy like Keenan Allen goes in the offseason, and that's supposed to be a quarterback's best friend because he's a surgical route runner, great hands, great catch radius, everything. Had his best season last year. But the Patriots don't make a move for him. They let Myers go. Now, this is obviously prior to the Mayo and Wolf administration. So they maybe are, paying a little high for a guy that checks a lot of boxes that previous receivers did or guys they could have had did. Are you happy with the fact that they maybe got a quarterback's best friend as opposed to, by the banal, analyst definition, or would you have rather they got a quarterback's best friend as in like, holy smokes, this guy is super fast and he can just take the top off of every defense, which most receivers can't, and he can score a touchdown, on a moment's notice.
Like, I like Polk. I think
fun.
both of these picks, if you go by some of the predictions, I know Mina Kimes just said, he's not getting to the third. There were a lot of people that thought Polk was like late second, early third type receiver. You took him a little earlier than that. Wallace was more of a fourth round pick. You took early in the third. But I like Polk. I think he's a good receiver, not a great receiver. That is fair. He fits very much in with the Patriots in that sense where it's like they have 2s and 3s. They don't have a 1. Again, I don't rule it out because receivers coming into the NFL is can be like the lottery. All of a sudden you're like, holy crap, that's 3 7s in a row. I just won $1 million. I can't believe it. But I would also say, and some people in the chat are like poo-pooing Jacoby Myers. Like, he was a good player for the Patriots. He's a good player for the Raiders. I'm not telling you he's a
where did all this Myers slander come from, Andy? Like, the guy averaged like 950 yards, 80 catches, and 4 touchdowns. I understand it took a while for him to get like, it was like cheering for a baby to have his first poop out of a diaper. Like, he finally got a touchdown from Brian Hoyer a couple of years ago. The dude is a vastly underrated receiver.
You almost said great. You almost said great. He's not.
No, vastly underrated. No, he's a very good receiver.
He's good. And I think Polk has the chance to be good. Now, there is a little bit of that, oh, he's a blocker. Great. Why don't you just call him a 4-down player? Belichick would have. Is he going to be a gunner too? For some reason, day 2 turned into like same old Patriots, taking guys around too early, taking guys we don't really want, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a crap where Fitzy is on the Cape?
Yeah.
I
love the random questions. This is why I love doing podcasts live, by the way.
So the thing I find interesting here is clearly Elliott Wolf, and I've said this to you, we have no idea what Elliott Wolf does, how he goes about business. We now have some evidence on first and second day of the NFL draft. He drafts for need. He needed a quarterback, a wide receiver, and a tackle. So in the first 3 picks of this draft, he took a quarterback, a wide receiver, and a tackle. The question on the tackle part is most people said you need a left tackle. He took a right tackle at, I think it's 99% of his snaps at Penn State were right tackle snaps. All of his starts were right tackle starts.
Now, I'm no mathematician, but that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. So
I think the general term is significant proportion.
I don't love the idea of just saying, oh, yeah, the guy's a college right tackle, but I'm sure he could play left tackle in the NFL. Like, that is not what I'm looking for. I am neither drunk. Well, I am angry at times, but not due to drunkenness. It's other issues. I don't love the pick. I'm not going to lie. As happy as I was in day 1,
Andy,
the Wallace pick,
I don't agree on a lot of things, and I think that's what makes our dynamic fun, and we'll extrapolate on a lot of these draft matters even further in a filtered adult professional capacity on Saturday from 12 to 3 on WEI. But we did this mostly just because we want to be able to say, like, if I can be completely honest right now, I kind of effing hate the 2nd and 3rd round picks.
See, you hate Polk, the Polk hero?
No, I like the Polk dance. Like, I like the Polk hero in terms of like, would I have loved him in the 3rd round? Yes. Would I have preferred the Patriots got a bigger tackle and maybe even moved up into the latter half of the 1st round, like you and Shimon Keefe were talking about on the Rich Keefe draft show? So we say, yes. Well, do I love sitting back on a receiver that I think the Patriots could have had later when I had, and again, I've told you a million times, I know I'm not supposed to develop draft crushes, but I did once again. And I fell in love with Ladd McConkey, and I liked a lot of other players. And, of course, the Patriots didn't take them. And they even traded out, please, Jim Harbaugh, take good care of my guy. No, I don't. I don't like it. It may work out in the end. It's a lot like their offseason, Andy. It's, again, blue collar, workmanlike, safe, between the numbers, parameters. It's not like Caden Wallace. Oh, good. We found a right tackle that can play left tackle a round later. Awesome. Oh, good. We found a wide receiver that could have wide receiver 1 potential, but some said he would be available in the 3rd round. We grabbed him in the 2nd. Yay. I just want some sex appeal. I just want them to step on the lot and be like, how much is that Ferrari? Fine, we'll pay for it.
You people are never happy. I'm going to give you 2 words that are all that matter. 2 simple words. Can you guess what they are?
2 words?
That's all that matters.
I don't want to edit this, but F off.
Drake May. That's all that matters.
Ooh,
absolutely. Right. We're not going to be fighting about Caden. What's his name? Caden Wallace.
Caden Wallace.
We're not.
Nice draft prep, bro.
Well, the vowels in his name disrupt me. My vision, my brainwaves, whatever it is. Caeden.
Yeah, it's a Caedan. Yeah, Wallace. Yeah,
it looks funny to me. I don't want to disrespect a man's name.
Me is fine, even though my phone refuses to acknowledge the extra E every time I do speak to text or autocorrect. Jalen Polk. It's gonna take a long time to learn JA''Lynn.
We always have these. Dante Hightower, Jawan Bentley. You always got to learn the new way to type the new players that they drafted. But if Drake May can play, we're not going to be fighting about Caden Wallace. We probably suck what?
That's my favorite part when people just jump in our live chat and write "suck it." All right, sure.
Can I use that line elsewhere? So that's all that matters. Like we learned that lesson last year. I had this conversation, CJ Stroud's arrival. All of a sudden, Nico Collins is like a franchise receiver. It's funny. I didn't hear one word about Nico Collins until CJ Stroud arrived. Nobody was raving about Nico Collins in Houston.
Hey, that's actually a great comp. Now, if Jalen Polk becomes Nico Collins, did Collins go second or third round from Michigan to Houston?
I'm going to say third, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but that's what matters. And, we talked about it. We liked everything we heard about Drake May last night. Then we like his press conference. I like that he brings out his girlfriend and his brothers. And he's like, you want me, you get them too. Like, there is a comfortable, genuine nature about him. And I know people are comparing him to Gronk because of the brothers. Well, I would compare him to Gronk.
I thought that was a great little dynamic that presented itself today that I think a lot of Pats fans weren't ready for, Andy. The whole entire idea that the May bros, the four brothers, hold on one second. Luke, Bo, Cole, and Drake.
Sounds right. Definitely Luke.
And then the girlfriend, Ann.
The longtime girlfriend, 7th grade girlfriend, or whatever she is.
Good Lord. How old is your boy? How old is your older boy, Jackson? What's he, 11th grade, 10th grade?
11th.
You have a girlfriend?
Yeah, he's laying on the couch with her downstairs.
Wow. I can't imagine. My son is in 5th grade. I can't imagine 2 years from now, my son having a girlfriend that he would then date so long as to be able to bring her to Gillette Stadium after he gets drafted by the Patriots. An insane concept.
And do other things that you don't want to imagine.
All right. Everybody was having fun. Now now everyone's like, I thought it would be fun to hang with Fitzy and Harlow, grab a Gansett or a Miller Lite. Now he just made everybody feel like they're not doing their due diligence parentally or socially.
No, but the issue, like everybody's making the comparison to the Gronk.
I love the Gronk brothers May
to me, it has nothing to do with the brothers. It has to do with the person. Gronk was as genuine as they come, and Drake May, in my 2 days of observing him, seems like he's genuine. He's not fake. I think we had a fake quarterback for a while. I think we had a guy that was trying to figure out who he was supposed to be and who the head coach wanted him to be and who his agent wanted him to be and who marketability wanted him to be. I think Drake May is very, very comfortable in Drake May's skin. Doesn't mean Drake May is going to be a star quarterback. Doesn't mean he's a franchise quarterback. But I think it's a first step. I like quarterbacks that are comfortable in their own skin. It's a little like the coaches. Oh, these guys don't work. They try to be Bill. Don't try to be Bill. Gerard Mayo's not trying to be Bill. He's trying to be Gerard Mayo. He may fail miserably being Gerard Mayo, but he's not going to fail miserably trying to be Bill Belichick. So I like what I've seen from Drake May over the last couple of years. I mean, over the last couple of days.
Correct.
But that is what's going to matter more than anything else. And, whether Caden Wallace can develop into a left tackle or he's a right tackle, or whether they bump on Wenu to left tackle or push him back into guard or blah, 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 blah. That is minutia. That is, and it's what we do. I understand it's what we do. Passionate Patriots fans.
It's the nature of the beast. We now have Andy, we do have to say, like, in the first round, we have a very small parabola of picks. There's a very small spectrum of people chosen to go play for other teams that we had either hoped or wanted or thought maybe our team would get after. And now all of a sudden, as round 2 and round 3 shape out, now you've got like a much larger spectrum. And then by tomorrow, then when the compensatory picks start factoring into the equation, we're just going to have a huge, like, we're going to go from like a personal umbrella to a beach umbrella to a whole freaking, Newport Bank Arena. Like, we're going to have just a giant whole freaking sphere of players. That said, I think this kind of nails it right here. One of our listeners, our viewers / listeners live, TD, who's watching on Facebook Live, AD Mitchell was there, and you guys traded down for a bag of donuts, and you get a number 2 wide receiver who's common. Why do you think AD Mitchell fell all the way? And by the way, teams that I think have absolutely crushed this draft include the Colts, who got the offensive and defensive player. A lot of people said both potentially involved, deserve to be in the top 20 in Latu Latu, and AD Mitchell. They go like 20 some odd and 52 for them. That's huge for them. But why do you think these guys fell? Like, what's the character concern for Mitchell that teams like Buffalo, Kansas City, and especially the Patriots wouldn't want to jump all over?
I don't know the specifics, but I can tell you there were definitely red flag concerns. And you mentioned the Colts. They
Yep.
swung for the fences because they have medical concerns with their first pick and character concerns with their second. Both are first round talents. No one is questioning. Everybody believes AD Mitchell is a first round talent. The question is, are you going to get return on a first round investment, or are there issues with his makeup? And I know people were talking about a real crappy combine workout, and they thought some of it was kind of mental, that he wasn't dialed in. He was not invested in the process. So the Colts swung for the fences, but I'm not even sure the Patriots ever would have taken AD Mitchell based on concerns about his character and like the culture. We've heard a lot about the vibe and the culture, and I think what they're trying to build. And I think that played a role in Ja'Lynn Polk. I think Ja'Lynn Polk they had a guy that was like clean. This is a guy we can trust on the field, off the field. We like his work ethic, like character, the whole damn thing.
Andy, was that Doug Kyed or someone else who tweeted out, maybe, I don't know, one of our friends on the beat who did a little sourcing and said that a huge factor in the equation was that Ja'Lynn Polk, yes, not the tallest. Yes, not the most physical. Yes, not the fastest. But good, very good. Obviously had over 1,100 yards. I think 69 catches. Nice. 9 touchdowns last year. Part of the Penix triumvirate on a great team that went all the way to the college football championship. But that he, again, is one of these guys that's locker room loved. Okay, now we get into like, do they maybe love Drake May more than others? We're not sure, but they did love the fact that he was accountable to the media and accountable to his friends. And he's a big family guy with the, Gronk 2.0 brothers and the girlfriend from 7th grade. Ja'Lynn Polk, most beloved wide receiver in the Pac-12. Like, are we going to build the most loving, like, kumbaya 5-12 team, or are we going to have a bunch of badasses that get out there and get after the dub?
Or are you trying to thread the needle and get both?
Good.
Right?
Okay.
Talent that also is good talent. And, some of that is from the dynasty days. And, we don't want to live in the history and revisit the history. But I think, there was a long period of time where they were able to find guys that were talented and like Dante Hightower. Talented, badass mother bleeper, but also a good professional, like a good dude. Like you're not worrying about what he's doing and how he is as a man or a human being. And
Actually,
we know the others, McCourty and
say
Slate.
Patriots coach Dante Hightower.
Right. So, I think they're trying to do both. Like we had a question earlier, Cooper DeJean. Why not take him? Because I think they were drafting for need, and I think they were going down the board and said, because I think if they were just drafting best player available, I think Cooper DeJean would have been the pick in the second round.
Oof. You sold me on, you and Scheim sold me on him the last couple of days. Like the idea that you have and we talked about him earlier on our very early Friday morning reacting to round 1 Six Rings podcast. Like, you don't want to drag the whole, like, well, back in the Belichick day motif or ideal into it, but like Cooper DeJean sounds like somebody who Bill Belichick would have done cartwheels and backflips to be able to trade down and find a way to get like the most value for, but also onto the football field. Line of scrimmage, blitzing, coverage, slot, safety, everything. Like that. Now that to me defines the definition of a second round steal.
Oh yeah. I liked the idea of DeJean. I was coming into this draft thinking need, but to me, and I also believe cornerback's a need. Like if, I said, clearly Elliott Wolf is drafting for need. Well, I would put cornerback near the top of the list for day 3, the 4th round pick. I think corner could be in play because I think that might be the next biggest need on the team. So I probably would have taken Cooper DeJean, and there's plenty of receivers here. Malachi Corley went to the Jets in the top of round 3. I would have liked him.
What was the reaction? Well, give me your reaction. What was the draft pick you outside of the Patriots? Which one frustrated you the most?
That would be on the list because
Yeah.
I think to just see a guy who I'm not sure exactly what he is, and that's the perfect place to go because they have all the sort of obvious weapons, and he can just do what he do, find a role on that offense with good elite talent around him. And then who knows where he goes in his career, year 2, year 3, year 4. But just for the here and now, I liked the idea of adding him to this offense. But
He was on an awful. And I gotta say, Andy, pardon my interruption, but like he was on an awful lot of Patriots mock draft. Like this is a perfect Patriot list from all of our friends. Keegan Stifle over at Nesson, Alex Barth over at the Hub, Mike Cadlick, who we love and respect and hope is doing well. Like everybody had like Malachi Corley is like one of those guys. Like if they can just find a way to sneak him through customs, if you will, he'll make a perfect Patriot. But obviously the Jets had designs too. It's a shame. But again, if Jalen Polk catches 55 passes, if he has a solid year, no one's going to care.
Oh, yeah. I am not as down on Polk as it seems like even you are and some of the chat people here are. I think there's a chance Polk is your best receiver this year. Depending on what Kendrick Bourne's health is, I think there is a chance that Jalen Polk could be your best receiver this year. I do not rule that out. And that may say something about your receiving core, which it does. You don't have a good receiving core. You don't have a high-end guy. We all know that. Yeah, Corley's route tree is limited. Route tree, not root tree. That'd be route 3.
Are you a route or a route guy?
It's routes.
Okay.
You run football routes. It's a route tree.
You're not a route runner? You're a route runner?
You're a route runner, but it's route 3.
So do you have
not route
3. A paper route or a paper route?
Paper route. No, route.
A route.
Route. Yeah, route. Sorry.
Thank you.
Why are you trying to confuse me? Don't F with me. It's been a long weekend already. We did a 6-hour radio show last night.
Just for the people. I know. I love the fact that we're on air in 12 hours. We're arguing over
Jesus
grammatical semantics.
I know his route tree is limited because he's not. He's a gadget guy in my opinion. He's a kind of figure out how you use him. But this gets back to Elliott Wolf's pre-draft press conference where there was a question. I forgot the exact wording, but like, are you gonna draft football players? And I liked his answer about just drafting good football players. They want to have good football players, not necessarily like, oh, he's the perfect guy for this role or whatever. And I think Corley is a good football player. And I don't know if Caden Wallace is a good football player. Like he's a good right tackle at Penn State. I worry about, everybody says, oh, you got to be careful. You could break Drake May if you play him too soon. Well, I think if you take a guy who's been a career right tackle and try to make him into an NFL left tackle, you might break him too. You could, fat guys can get broken too. It's not just the skill players. You can break tackles.
I love that book. Fat guys can get broken too. That's terrific.
They need loving too.
Just Morg, who's watching live on YouTube, and we thank all of our live viewers who are contributing right now to a 6 Rings of Football Things podcast. Many people will be listening to on Saturday morning, whether they're doing yard work, taking the kids to sports, going for a jog, wherever they happen to be. Remaining confident about the 4th round. We've had a lot of success there. Andy, can you remember the last 4th round pick you were very excited about? And or are there some people that the Pats fans should be excited about potentially sneaking through for a day 3, round 4 through 7 pick?
So now you're asking me the best available. I gotta go to the list. You're effing with me here.
It's all good. Take your time. Everyone's having a bear. It's 11:15 on a Friday night. Everyone's cool with us taking a second to just go to sort of rest and refresh. It's all good.
Tell you, my computer's not.
All right. So the Patriot. Let me just say that. Let me just take this from a, as we like to say in the corporate world, a 10,000-foot perspective. The Patriots have grabbed a receiver. They granted don't think he's going to be a wide receiver 1, but you're not going to get a wide receiver 1 from rounds 4 through 7. I do believe Javon Baker is still available. That guy has been on my list from Jump Street and for forever. You grabbed a tackle that you think can go from right tackle to left tackle. So that actually thrusts into the equation safety and cornerback. And then what position, Andy, would you add to it after that?
Safety, cornerback. I think running back.
They grabbed a receiver. They got their QB one of the future. What else do you think?
I think running back is in the mix. I would like to see a
Yes.
young running back.
Very good. Good point.
I would also wouldn't hate seeing a young tight end to add to the depth chart.
God, I can't believe I'm forgetting about tight end. Is Sinat? Audience?
Oh no, he went wicked early. He
He
went
did.
wicked early. Yeah, he was overdrafted. I liked him, but
Yeah, I know.
yeah, I
Get the
wasn't willing
K-State tight end. Yeah. So I wonder. I don't think there's a lot of tight end love of it. All right. So people in the chat right now, TD, who is watching on YouTube,
He said
Live.
Andy's funny.
All right.
He did. He thinks
Isaac
I'm funny.
or Isaac Garendo. Who
I'm
is Isaac?
funny.
No, that's please don't.
That was Rudolph.
Please don't feed the animals, everybody.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So tight end could potentially be a point of emphasis, if you will. Running back as well. So no other players that you have your eye on. I mean, look, let's put it this way, audience. The entire world wants to find the next Marcus Jones. Everybody has their eyes hopefully trained on the next Puka Nacua. Everybody would fall in love with the idea of like stumbling onto in the undrafted waters of the NFL like a David Andrews. It doesn't happen that easily. These are unicorns in a sort of undrafted lower round perspective. Like it doesn't just happen that easily. It doesn't always happen that way. You got to get lucky. You also have to do your due diligence and research. To which point I ask you, Andy, let's do a fun little game here at the end of the live podcast.
Is it
Over under? How many undrafted free agents do you think joined the New England Patriots roster? Of course, up until last year, they had set an NFL record for the most years consecutively, upon which an undrafted free agent made the active roster by the end of August. Of course, Malik Cunningham joined like a week later. Would have been nice if he had actually joined, so just keep our record. That said, I'm going to give you an over-under of 7.5.
over?
How many?
The prediction by one of those people that does such predictions, like one of those sort of geeky guys on the internet, no offense, was 12, a dozen. And it was basically a simple, how many guys they got on the roster now, how many draft picks they have, you do the math, fill it out to get to 90 men. So around a dozen undrafted rookie free agents. There could be obviously some veterans added along the way. And I did finally get my list of best available, by the way.
Here we go.
So I do like Peyton Wilson, the linebacker out of NC State. He's still available.
Yes.
If you look at the tight end position, Jatavian Sanders, the kid out of Texas, I like him. I would not hate seeing him as a fourth-round tight end to the Patriots. Muhammad Kamara, the edge player out of Colorado State, like him. Troy Franklin is still available if you want to double dip.
How the hell is Troy Franklin still available?
I don't know. I didn't really like him. I had Tyquan Thornton vibes off of him.
Keith is the one who thought he had second-round talent. You and I thought he was Tyquan Thornton's clone.
Yeah. No thanks. Ray Davis, the running back out of Kentucky, I definitely liked. Theo Johnson, the tight end out of Penn State, and Jared Wiley, the tight end out of TCU.
Andy, we have a question from the live chat right now. Castle of All, tight end Cade Stover, is he still available?
I don't think so. He's not on my list right here. I'm scrolling through kind of quickly. Austin Booker, an edge out of Kansas, I really liked. He's still available.
Cade Stover went to Miami. Damn it.
There's always the chance. No, this says Cade Stover still available.
Went to the Dolphins.
Well, then this list is useless. Because they have him listed on NFL.com as one of the best players still available.
Well, the hell with them. What do they know?
But, well, ignore the rest of this list then. So maybe that was, is this going into day 2? Oh, that can't be good then. They didn't update it, jackasses.
Thoroughly validating our Andy and Nick. When they do a podcast, they sound like a couple of guys trying to program the clock in the car radio.
Well, I just, I thought they would update it along the way, but they
You
didn't.
would think, but hey, here we are. All right. So listen, we've held the
Also,
attention.
Joe Milton, my dream of Joe Milton being
Is there
camp body.
all right, just for pure fun, for pure
Also,
sexual
Spencer
fun,
Rattler is still available, despite that
how
guy
did
as
he
a
not
former
go to
NFL
how did he
scout.
not go to the Giants in the second round like a million people told us?
Well, that guy who's, a former NFL scout doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Wow. Wow.
Here's what it is. Kevin O'Malley, I agree with you. Day 1, A. Day 2, C+.
Kevin O'Malley gives the New England Patriots live here. He's watching from YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us, Kevin, on a Friday night unfiltered 6 rings and football things. Also, by the way, guys, let us know what you're drinking. I'm finishing up a shit Pats fans drink from Vitamin C. Andy is having a Miller Lite. Let us know what you're having because of course, we celebrate all the beverages here on the podcast. Day 1A, day 2 C+. Okay, Andy, let's finish up here. Let's give our grades for day 1 and day 2, and then we'll wrap up and we'll talk to everybody tomorrow at noon Eastern time on WEIFM.
So I would definitely go A for day 1. I love Drake May. I wanted Drake May. As I said, I think you may have gotten the most talented all-around quarterback with the biggest upside in the entire draft. Day 2, I think I would go like C-. I didn't love the trade. Everybody, I thought trade was a possibility, kind of predicted it on Twitter, but I thought it would be to add picks. I thought Elliott Wolf was looking to add picks and assets and blah, blah, blah. He basically moved down, 3-4 spots to move up around later in the draft. I didn't necessarily love the need of that trade. Although they say they were going to take Polk at 34, so they took him at 37. Sure, you did. That's what every GM says. No GM has ever been honest and say, we screwed that up. We lost it. So yeah, I'd go C- for day 2. I don't like the Wallace pick. I don't really
Thank
get
you.
it.
By the way, shout out David Morales, who's watching on Facebook Live. I'm on my 6th Jaeger bomb of the evening, feeling nice right now, Fitzy. That's our audience.
I can't feel anything, actually.
And these are our people. Let's celebrate them, not hate on them. I'm so glad you said that because I know we don't always agree. Every football take, every draft analysis, every player prospectus. I think, God, I want to like everything because I love talking to Wolf. I think he's great. I love his clinical manner.
I like him.
C. Yeah, I'll give yesterday an A-. I'll give today a C.
So
it's not that it's boring. It's just
wait, what'd you give yesterday?
So much more explosive out there. There was so much more powerful out there. There was so much more different and dangerous out there. And they went safe and they're like rebuilding a locker room full of like really nice guys. Great. And I know, listen, we both know, Andy, where Elliott grew up under Ron Wolf's side. His dad, who's a legendary football guy. And hey, maybe Drake May turns into his Favre or his, Elway, whatever. But like, God, where's the spark, man? Like, that's the one thing I'm listening. Let me ask you this: where's that? Where's this? Is it all going to come from Drake May, or is it?
Absolutely.
Is it?
Nope. It's all Drake May. It's all Drake May. It's the combination of Justin Herbert and Josh Allen. It's the arm. It's the body. It's the youthfulness. It's the genuine nature of him. It's everything. Whether you want to call him the Matriot or the Maniac or whatever, Drake's Cakes, whatever, the Drake, the whole goddamn thing, it's all about him. He is him with a big H.
Yep. And you did you get the Gronkowski vibes I got today watching the bros on the field with the girlfriend and everyone else?
But guess what? The Gronkowski stuff wouldn't have worked if he sucked. If Gronk was Dan, none of that is a thing. It's only a thing because Gronk is great. Yep. So this will only be a cool thing, a fun thing, an interesting thing if Drake May is awesome. I love everything. Like, oh, he's a pussy. Is that what the brother said? Which, the little video that was making the rounds, like, describe your brother. And they were like this, that. And they're like, he's a bleeping pussy or whatever.
I think he called him a bitch.
Oh, well, a bleeping bitch, whatever he called him. Like, that's only funny.
No, never mind. It's too late.
That's only funny. That's only like if he's good. If he goes out and he's Zach Wilson and he's throwing pick after pick and doing dumb after dumb, and he's, saying dumb things in post-game press conferences and whatever, then none of that is funny. It's all stupid. It's all about Drake May being good. That saves everything, that fixes everything, that changes everything. And I refuse on the second day of the NFL draft, one day after he was selected, I refuse to not have hope. You know how I told you in August, that's when teams have hope? Well, it's also true of draft weekend. Last year at this time, the Panthers and the Texans should have both had immense hope, correct?
Yep.
They should have. And you flip a coin, it went 50-50. One should have had hope, and that was Houston. One learned that hope was misplaced, and that was Carolina. Sorry. Let's just hope the Patriots are closer to Houston than they are to Carolina.
I
thought he said pussy. He said bitch. Sorry.
Blue Water Cat said, hey, guys, we still have Devontae Walker, wide receiver of North Carolina when Drake May was there. Johnny Wilson, and also Bub Means. Now, he's a 6th-round talent. Look, I'd love to get him.
So they'll take him in the 4th.
Yeah. So we'll take him in the 4th, or we won't take him at all. Exactly. There's still a lot of talent on the board. Look, nobody looks at our boards. No one thinks about our mock drafts, etc. But at the same time, we're hive mind with a lot of people that have watched a lot of football, and it's a little frustrating when our things don't align. I see Phil Yates right there on SportsCenter right now. I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say momentarily. Any which way, these are our thoughts on a late Friday night with beer in hand. This has been a live, unfiltered Six Rings of Football. Thank you to the several thousand people watching live on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, the Twix, the Instagram, and everywhere else. Thank you guys very much. We love your participation. We love chatting with you guys. I'm in the light. Andy's in the dark. This feels a little bit metaphorical if you're watching live right now. So rounds 4 through 7, I think the draft starts tomorrow. Andy, is it 12 o'clock?
Oh.
Perfect. All right, great. That's why we have you here. That's why we pay the big bucks. I think it's 12 o'clock. I think it's 12 to 6 or 7. We'll be on the radio, FM radio, on Saturday on WEI and, of course, the WEI Sports Radio Network and Odyssey. Download the Odyssey app today, and please subscribe to the Six Rings Podcast and follow us at Six Rings Pod. We'll be on all day Saturday from 12 to 3 doing the FM radio, and then we'll probably see if we can sneak in a live podcast afterwards to wrap things up. If not, we'll catch up to you guys on Monday. Andy, any final thoughts before we wrap up this fabulous, unfiltered, beer-soaked, and for the fans edition of Six Rings on a Friday night?
Don't get caught up in the minutia. Oh, Wallace, I don't know if the 3rd-round pick can play left tackle. He might just be all right. Focus on what matters, and what matters is the number 10 jersey that is now for sale that says May on the back. That is what matters. Get excited about Drake May. For now, it's April. You have a franchise quarterback. You will start to see clips of him. Remember the Christian Gonzalez clip a year ago in shorts from rookie minicamp that I mocked? You'll start to see some of those from Drake May, making throws, running around on a practice field, then in veteran minicamp. Enjoy that. Embrace that, because that is all that matters.
And I will second that emotion, my man, and say, like I said on the podcast that we did at the start of the day earlier here on the Six Rings feed, I'll say it again tomorrow. If there's any way that Drake May and all that great May brothers energy can translate into success on the field, the charisma, the energy, the attitude, the chutzpah, the good vibes that this guy brings, if he can somehow find a way to turn his camaraderie and positive vibrancy, in addition to his on-field play, into touchdowns and positivity, we got a real one here, Andy. And I think that's, like you said, one to grow on. So there we go. All right, folks, thanks very much for tuning in to a late night Friday unfiltered Six Rings and Football Things. We'll talk to you Saturday, 12 to 3 Eastern Standard Time on WEEI FM and all across the Odyssey Network. He's at Jumbo Hart. I'm at Fitzy GFY. Thank you very much, Justin Turpin, for all your producing help. Good day, good night. And also, God bless to one and all in Patriots Nation. Not our favorite 2nd and 3rd round, but there's still 4 rounds to go. And as always, God bless. Go Pats.